Chosen one, anchor your spirit to what I'm about to reveal, because that strange feeling you've been carrying in your chest for the last 3 days, it's not anxiety, it's anticipation. I know something has shifted in the atmosphere around you this week. It's subtle, but you feel it. Maybe you caught yourself staring at your reflection longer than usual yesterday morning, not because you were criticizing what you saw, but because something felt different. Or maybe you were walking past a mirror last night, and for just a split second, you didn't recognize the person looking back at you. Perhaps you woke up at 4 in the morning this week with this overwhelming sense that change was coming, but you couldn't name what kind of change. The enemy has been working overtime against you right now for one reason and one reason only. He knows what heaven just authorized concerning your physical transformation. It all shifts tomorrow. The stagnation, the feeling invisible, the way people have been looking right through you. But here's what you need to understand. It's not changing because of coincidence. It's changing because of something you surrendered. Think back to that moment this week when you wanted to complain about how you looked, when you wanted to tear yourself apart in the mirror. But instead, you whispered a quiet, "Thank you." You didn't know it then, but that gratitude in the face of dissatisfaction was the key that unlocked heaven's beauty protocol over your life. You didn't settle for less. You positioned yourself for more. You did not find this message by accident. The algorithm did not deliver this to you. The Holy Spirit did. This is a divine appointment scheduled before the foundations of the earth, and you are about to witness God's artistry in real time. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the exact spiritual principle that activates supernatural beauty transformation. I'm going to show you the 3 signs that prove God is already rewiring your DNA for radiance. And at the end, I'm going to give you the decree that seals this metamorphosis and accelerates what heaven has already begun. Do not scroll past this. The version of you that's been praying to feel beautiful again, this is the moment that prayer gets answered. If you leave now, you leave before the revelation. You feel like you're in limbo right now, like you're caught between who you used to be and who you're becoming. And in this space, the enemy has started whispering a very specific lie. Listen to your thoughts. He's telling you that you've waited too long, that transformation like this doesn't happen to people like you. He's replaying every moment you looked in the mirror with disappointment, every time someone made you feel invisible, every time you avoided photos or dimmed your light because you didn't feel worthy of being seen. The accuser is telling you that real beauty belongs to other people, and you've missed your window. But I need you to hear what the scripture actually says about this moment. Isaiah 61:3 says, "He will give you beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness." Listen to that promise. Beauty for ashes. Not beauty after you fix yourself. Not beauty when you deserve it. Beauty in exchange for what's been burned up in your life. God doesn't renovate your appearance, He resurrects it. The heaviness you feel when you look in the mirror isn't shame. It's the weight of glory being prepared. You think those moments when you avoided your reflection were moments of defeat. But let me reframe your reality right now. That was not rejection of yourself. That was preparation for revelation. God has been working in the invisible realm while you thought nothing was happening. Every prayer you whispered about feeling beautiful again, every moment you chose gratitude over complaint, every time you treated your body as a temple, even when you didn't feel like it deserved honor. All of it was building toward this moment. The transformation isn't coming. The transformation is here. The transformation isn't coming. The transformation is here, right now, unfolding in the very fabric of your being. And here's what most people don't truly grasp about God's timing when it comes to the unveiling of His beauty in you. He doesn't operate on your timeline, nor does he adhere to the hurried pace of human expectation. He meticulously works on his divine calendar, a sacred schedule filled with appointments orchestrated by heaven itself, each one designed with intentionality and perfect precision. That persistent restlessness you've been experiencing, that quiet but undeniable stirring deep within your spirit, especially when you catch an unexpected glimpse of yourself in a reflective surface or a passing thought. Understand this. It's not a sign of dissatisfaction. It is, in fact, a profound and holy anticipation. Your spirit, the part of you connected intimately with the divine, perceives and knows something glorious that your analytical mind simply hasn't quite caught up to yet. It's like the earth sensing the coming spring long before the first bud dares to break through the soil, a deep cellular knowing of an impending season of blossoming. For so long, perhaps unconsciously, you've been petitioning God to alter your physical appearance, to modify the external shell you inhabit. But listen closely, because heaven heard a different prayer entirely. Beyond the surface-level requests, God's omniscient ear perceived the deeper yearning of your soul. Heaven heard you asking, fundamentally, to be seen, truly seen, beyond superficiality. It heard your heart's cry to be recognized, not merely for what you do or what you have, but for the inherent worth of who you are. It heard your longing to walk into any room, any space, any situation, and intrinsically feel worthy of occupying that space, worthy of the air you breathe, worthy of the attention you might command. And that profound prayer, that raw, unadorned heart cry, demands and indeed requires a far more profound and intricate intervention than the cosmetic or superficial changes you initially thought you were asking for. God's answer transcends skin deep. It delves into the very core of your identity and purpose, reaching for a holistic transformation that will redefine how you experience yourself and the world around you. Consider the ancient story of Moses descending from the fiery summit of Mount Sinai. The scripture vividly describes how his face became so intensely radiant from his direct encounter with the living God that the Israelites, even his closest companions, were unable to gaze upon him directly. His countenance literally glowed with an otherworldly light, a testament to the divine presence he had just experienced. But here's the crucial detail, the profound spiritual insight that most people overlook in that powerful narrative. Moses himself was utterly unaware of his own dazzling brilliance. He was so completely absorbed in the awe-inspiring revelations God had unveiled to him, so utterly captivated and transformed by the sheer intimacy of that encounter, that his phenomenal radiance was merely a byproduct, an organic overflow of that profound communion. The sheer, undeniable beauty that emanated from him wasn't something he consciously strived for or even noticed. It was a grace, a gift, born from the deepest recesses of his being, a direct result of his intimate connection with the Creator. The beauty came from the inside, from the very core of his spirit, touched by God's glory, and it naturally worked its way outward, permeating every fiber of his being, until it became an undeniable, visible testimony to everyone who beheld him. This radiant beauty was not an external adornment. It was the visible signature of an internal transformation. And this sacred truth leads us directly to a fundamental understanding that an astonishing number of people miss entirely, a spiritual law often overlooked in our visually driven world. For too long, you have been painstakingly attempting to fix your outside, to meticulously adjust your external presentation, in the hope that these superficial changes would somehow magically make you feel better about your inner self. You've been trying to paint a beautiful house on a foundation you perceived as shaky, but all along, in the silent, unseen laboratories of heaven, God has been working in precisely the opposite direction. He has been, with infinite patience and divine artistry, transforming your heart, reshaping your mind, reawakening your spirit. He has been tirelessly cultivating the garden of your inner world, uprooting weeds of insecurity, planting seeds of self-worth, and watering them with his boundless love. And now, in this very season, the time has come for your physical reality, your tangible, observable self, to finally catch up, to align, to manifest the glorious reality of what he has already comprehensively completed and perfected within the unseen spiritual realm. The outward manifestation is simply the blossoming of the inner work, the visible fruit of a deeply rooted divine process. But allow me to gently guide you into an even deeper layer of this profound mystery, for there is a specific, divinely ordained reason why this complete and holistic transformation has seemingly taken longer than your human heart desired. There's a sacred purpose behind why you've had to navigate through seasons that felt utterly invisible, moments where you felt like a shadow while others around you appeared to effortlessly shine, bathed in the spotlight of recognition and affirmation. Let it be unequivocally clear: God was never withholding beauty from you. He was not deliberately keeping a blessing from your grasp. On the contrary, during these periods of waiting and seeming obscurity, he was meticulously preparing you, not just for beauty, but for the profound responsibility of stewarding it correctly. He was cultivating the soil of your soul, strengthening your inner reserves, and honing your character, so that when the radiance finally broke through, you would be equipped to carry it with grace, purpose, and humility, rather than being consumed by it or allowing it to distort your true identity. Consider for a moment the compelling story of Queen Esther, a young woman chosen by destiny. She underwent a full 12 months of rigorous preparation before she was even presented to the king. Imagine the dedication required. 12 long months, not weeks or days. 6 months were dedicated to treatments with the potent oil of myrrh, an ancient unguent known not just for its fragrance, but for its purifying and healing properties, often associated with preparation for sacred service or even burial. This period spoke of deep cleansing, inner work, and purification of spirit. Following that, another 6 months were spent with exquisite sweet odors and perfumes, a phase signifying anointing, favor, and the embodiment of royal grace. Yet, here is the pivotal truth often missed. None of that extensive preparation, with all its elaborate rituals and precious substances, was ever about making her beautiful enough to be chosen. The sacred texts are clear. She was already chosen by divine decree, selected by the king's own hand, before the preparations even began. The true purpose of that intensive year of preparation was far deeper. It was about aligning her formidable inner strength, her courageous spirit, and her discerning wisdom with her burgeoning outer radiance, so that she would be fully equipped, spiritually and emotionally, to carry the immense weight of her unique calling, to stand before a powerful king, and ultimately, to save her entire people from annihilation. Her preparation was about building resilience, wisdom, and an unwavering connection to her purpose, ensuring her outer beauty was a vessel for her inner power, not a superficial adornment. So, let this truth anchor deep within your spirit. You have been in a season of profound preparation, not a period of punishment or neglect. Every moment of waiting, every instance of feeling overlooked, has been a crucible designed to refine and strengthen you for what is to come, and what is coming next will likely astonish you. It always does when God unveils his master plan. The very people who once casually overlooked you, who perhaps inadvertently or even intentionally made you feel insignificant or just average, who treated you as if you were utterly invisible, blending seamlessly into the background, they are about to encounter someone they simply will not recognize. And this profound recognition won't be because you've painstakingly altered every single aspect of your physical self through human effort. No, it will be because, in His perfect timing, God Himself has sovereignly removed the spiritual veil, the covering of obscurity or misperception that was obscuring and hiding the magnificent, divinely imprinted essence that was always, eternally, brilliantly there within you. It's not a new creation, it's a grand unveiling of the masterpiece you always were. Now, hold that thought, because coming up in just a moment, we're going to dive into a critical revelation, the hidden agreement you unknowingly made, a silent pact that has been subtly yet powerfully blocking the complete breakthrough of this divine radiance in your life. Stay with me, truly lean in, because understanding this single point is where everything truly fundamentally shifts. This is the pivot point, the catalyst for an acceleration you've been waiting for. But first, before we unveil that specific agreement, allow me to present you with a challenging truth, one that might initially feel uncomfortable, perhaps even a little unsettling, but it is absolutely essential for your liberation. That persistent insecurity you carry, that gnawing self-consciousness you feel about your appearance, let's be radically honest, it is not actually, at its deepest root, about your appearance at all. It is, at its core, about your identity. You have been, for far too long, seeing yourself through the distorted, often critical, and undeniably limited eyes of people who were never, ever qualified by heaven to define you. Their judgments, their opinions, their fleeting perceptions held no divine authority over your worth. You've been unconsciously measuring your infinite worth and divine value by the ephemeral, ever-changing, and often cruel standards that God, your Creator, never, not once established or sanctioned, and every single time you internally agreed with their narrow, human, and ultimately flawed perception of you, every time you allowed their words or their actions to penetrate and take root in your inner world, you unwittingly gave them permission, a spiritual authorization, to dim the incandescent light that God Himself meticulously placed inside you at creation. You consented to shrink, not by divine will, but by human influence. Here is the raw, unvarnished part, the truth that no one truly wants to hear, but which must, with courageous love, be spoken into existence. You have been hiding. And this hiding isn't merely from others, from potential judgment or unwanted attention. It's a deeper, more insidious hiding from your own authentic self, from the full, glorious expression of who God designed you to be. You've been deliberately playing small, consciously or unconsciously dressing down, meticulously avoiding situations that might draw attention to yourself, convincing yourself and perhaps others that this self-effacement was a mark of humility. But if we peel back the layers, if we look with honest eyes into the depths of your soul, we will discover that what masqueraded as humility was, in fact, a deeply rooted fear. It was the primal fear that if you dared to step into your full, breathtaking beauty, if you truly owned and embodied the radiant light God had so lavishly placed inside you, then someone, somewhere, might reject you. Someone might utter the terrifying words, "You're too much." Someone might, out of their own insecurity or brokenness, attempt to tear you down, to diminish that which shines too brightly for their comfort. This fear of impact has kept your light veiled. But what if I dared to tell you that the very individuals, the very voices, the very people you have been painstakingly trying to avoid offending or overshadowing are precisely the ones God is strategically positioning to use as witnesses, as confirmation of your profound transformation? What if the same voices that once made you feel like a whisper in a crowded room, utterly invisible and unremarkable, are now poised to approach you, genuinely curious, and ask with wonder, "What is different about you?" There's something undeniably changed, something radiant. What if the most powerful, most authentic and most liberating confirmation of your inherent beauty and divine radiance doesn't come from a mirror or a magazine, but comes reverberating through the mouths of those who, in a previous season, once overlooked you entirely. This is not vindication in a worldly sense, but divine affirmation, a testimony to God's unparalleled work. And this precise realization, this understanding, brings us to the real, undeniable turning point in your journey. For too long, there has been a relentless, exhaustive war raging within the sacred sanctuary of your mind. It's a battle fought daily between the magnificent, unwavering truth of who God irrevocably says you are, and the often harsh, limiting and distorted narratives of who you have been told you are by the world, by your past, by the voices of humanity. Every single morning, as you awaken and perhaps glance into the mirror, there has been this profound internal struggle, a relentless tug-of-war between divine truth and fleeting human opinion. And regrettably, you've been losing that battle, not because God's voice, the voice of ultimate truth and affirmation, was ever weak or insufficient. His voice, like a mighty trumpet, echoes through eternity. You've been losing that battle because you've inadvertently, or perhaps unknowingly, been listening to the wrong frequency, tuning into the static of the world's judgment rather than the clear, resonant signal of heaven's unconditional love and acceptance. But wait, before you allow yourself to move another inch forward on this journey of self-discovery and divine alignment, you need to recognize and truly grasp something critically important, something that often wears a cunning disguise, that insidious voice in your head, the one that whispers so convincingly, masquerading as profound wisdom, the one that perpetually instructs you to stay humble, to consciously not draw attention to yourself, to simply be grateful for being average or blending in. Let me be unequivocally clear. That is not, I repeat, not the authentic voice of God. That is the cunning, seductive voice of fear, artfully cloaked and wearing a meticulously crafted religious mask. True, biblical humility, the kind that aligns with the heart of God, never ever demands that you become invisible or diminish your light. True humility recognizes and honors the divine gifts and glory within you, using them for His purposes. False humility, on the other hand, which is often born from deeply ingrained fear and insecurity, will inevitably make you shrink, recede, and become invisible, convincing you it's spiritual when it's truly a prison. And hidden, intricately woven beneath that foundational truth, lies yet another profound revelation. You have, perhaps without fully realizing it, been profoundly afraid of your own inherent power. Not the worldly, manipulative power to control or dominate others, but the sacred, transformative power to influence, to inspire, to uplift, and most importantly, to cause people to genuinely see a glimpse of God's radiant love and presence when they look at you, when they encounter your authentic being. You've harbored this deep-seated apprehension that if you were to truly step into the magnificent fullness of who you are, if you were to bravely own your intrinsic beauty, your undeniable light, your powerful presence, you would somehow become solely responsible for how other people might respond to you, for their reactions, their jealousy, their admiration, or even their discomfort. This fear has shackled your expression. But let me remind you of a fundamental, liberating truth. God, your loving Creator, never once asked you to dim your own glorious light, not even a single flicker, merely to make others feel more comfortable in their own shadows. On the contrary, He explicitly commanded and empowered you to shine so brightly, to radiate with such authentic, unbridled splendor, that your very presence, your radiant example, would inspire and awaken others, compelling them to seek out and find their own divine flame, their own unique light within themselves. Your shining is not a competition, it is an invitation. And once that profound truth truly clicks into place, once that internal switch flips, everything, absolutely everything, in your perspective and your reality begins to shift with an astonishing momentum. The incredible transformation that has been meticulously building and deepening within the invisible spiritual realm is now poised and ready to manifest itself in tangible, undeniable ways that you can literally see, touch, and measure with your physical senses. The miraculous DNA restructuring that was initiated and catalyzed by your heartfelt prayers, whispered in solitude and declared in faith, is now divinely prepared to show up with startling clarity in your reflection, a visible testament to inner renewal. The cellular renewal, the rejuvenation of every single cell in your being that began its profound work the moment you lifted your voice in praise and adoration, is now ready to become undeniable, irrefutable evidence, a living miracle radiating from your very essence. This, my beloved, is precisely where the real, truly supernatural transformation ultimately begins. It doesn't originate with temporary external fixes like makeup, or invasive procedures like surgery, or even through extreme, unsustainable measures dictated by the world's fleeting standards. No, it commences with a direct, powerful, and undeniable supernatural intervention from the very heart of God. God Himself is now poised to divinely accelerate what He has patiently and meticulously been building slowly, organically, and beautifully within you. The inherent radiance that has been growing, strengthening, and maturing within your spirit, cultivated through seasons of intimacy and surrender, is now ready to break through every single barrier, every veil, every stronghold, every lie, and every spiritual impediment the enemy may have strategically placed over your countenance, over your very face and outward expression. This is a breakthrough of divine light, piercing through the darkness that sought to obscure you. Stay absolutely with me, because what I am about to share with you next is the truly pivotal part. The key that possesses the power to decisively break every limiting cycle you have unconsciously been bound by. There has been a very specific, often unspoken agreement that you have been unknowingly carrying, perhaps ingrained within your subconscious since early childhood, an agreement that has subtly, yet profoundly, limited the sheer abundance of beauty and radiance that God ardently desired to release and express through you. It's not an agreement you consciously or intentionally made with malicious intent. Rather, it's one that was subtly, insidiously placed upon you by external influences, by societal expectations, by painful past experiences, or even by inherited generational patterns. And tragically, you have been honoring this invisible pact, living within its confines, without even fully realizing its profound impact on your life and your perception of self. Somewhere at some formative point in your past, someone, a parent, a peer, a teacher, a media message, a cultural norm, made you feel, explicitly or implicitly, that you had to make an impossible choice. You were subtly coerced into believing that you had to choose between being beautiful and being intelligent, as if these two divine attributes were mutually exclusive. You were led to believe you had to select between being genuinely attractive and being taken seriously, as though a woman of beauty could not also possess profound wisdom or gravitas. You were presented with the false dilemma of being noticed for your physical appearance versus being deeply valued for your character, your mind, your spirit, or your intrinsic worth. And in that moment of vulnerability, with the best intentions and often out of a profound need for safety and acceptance, you chose what you perceived to be the safer, more pragmatic path. You consciously or unconsciously chose to hide your beauty, to diminish your radiance, to veil your true allure, all in a desperate yet ultimately futile attempt to protect your deeper sense of worth and safeguard your intellectual value from being overshadowed or dismissed. This choice, made out of protection, became a self-imposed prison. But let this truth resound in every fiber of your being. God, in his infinite wisdom and perfect design, never, not once, asked you to make such a choice. He never orchestrated or created any tension whatsoever between your undeniable beauty and your brilliant mind, between your outward grace and your inner wisdom. He never designed you, his magnificent creation, to dim one radiant light within you in order to make another shine brighter. That is a human construct, a societal lie. On the contrary, he intricately, lovingly, and purposefully made you to be fully radiant, gloriously vibrant, both inside and out, from the core of your spirit to the very tips of your hair, without apology for your brilliance and without compromise for your beauty. He created you as a holistic masterpiece, where every aspect of your being enhances and complements the other. And here is the part that will likely catch you completely by surprise, the unexpected truth that shatters preconceived notions. The fundamental thing that has truly been blocking your breakthrough, preventing this radiant unveiling, is not your past hurts, it is not the people who wounded you, and it is not even your own deeply ingrained insecurities, as pervasive as they may have felt. No, the most profound obstruction has been your own subtle, yet powerful, loyalty to being small. You have, perhaps out of habit, comfort, or fear of the unknown, been so incredibly faithful to limitation, so devoted to the confines of your perceived smallness, that you have, in fact, been actively, albeit unconsciously, resisting the monumental expansion, the glorious breakthrough, and the boundless freedom that God ardently desires to bring into your life. You've been meticulously protecting an old, worn-out, limited version of yourself, a version that God, in his infinite love and power, is now actively and powerfully trying to resurrect, to bring forth into its full, magnificent, divine glory. It's time to shed the familiar skin of limitation and step into the boundless garment of your true identity. But if you are truly honest with yourself, if you tune into the deeper currents of your spirit, you already know, intuitively, that something profoundly different has been stirring within you this week, perhaps even this very day. You have felt it, a deep, resonant hum in your spirit, long before you've seen any tangible evidence reflected in the mirror. There's been an undeniable stirring, a burgeoning anticipation, a powerful sense that something exquisitely beautiful, something divinely ordained, is on the precipice of breaking open and manifesting in your life in ways you can scarcely imagine. This isn't mere wishful thinking, nor is it fanciful imagination. This, my dear one, is pure, unadulterated, prophetic sensitivity. You are consciously or unconsciously feeling the spiritual tremors of what heaven itself is actively preparing to release, to pour out, to unveil over your life, right now in this powerful season. Your spirit is detecting the divine shift. Tonight, before you surrender to the embrace of sleep, I want to invite you to engage in a powerful, sacred act of declaration. Place your hand gently but firmly over your heart, connecting with that deep wellspring of your spirit, and speak these transformative words over yourself. Say them out loud. Let your voice resonate with absolute authority. Infuse them with unshakable faith, and charge them with expectant anticipation. Let these words become a living prayer, a decree that shifts your reality. I release every single limitation, conscious or unconscious, that I have ever placed on my own intrinsic beauty and radiance. I hereby, with divine authority, break agreement with every single voice, every past narrative, every societal message, every whispered lie that ever told me I had to choose between being beautiful and being valuable, between being seen and being respected. I joyfully and wholeheartedly receive the supernatural radiance, the divine glow, the undeniable favor that God is releasing over my life, over my spirit, over my body, over my countenance right now, in this very moment. I step boldly and confidently into my divine femininity, into the full expression of who God created me to be, without apology, without reservation, and without compromise. I choose to walk, to live, to move, and to have my being in the glorious fullness of how heaven unequivocally sees me. I am beautiful, for I am a reflection of His artistry. I am radiant, for His light shines through me. I am seen, for He sees me fully. And I am loved, unequivocally and unconditionally, exactly as God meticulously created me to be. The transformation is not merely coming, it is undeniably here, present in this moment, activating within me. And I receive it now, in Jesus' mighty name. If this profound word resonated deeply with your spirit, if you felt a tangible shift, an internal quickening, or a powerful liberation while I was speaking these truths, if you sense, with an undeniable conviction, that God is indeed poised to do something truly magnificent and beautiful in your life, right now, then I urge you, with a heart full of faith, to type "I receive" in the comments section below. Do this not for me, but as a powerful public declaration of your faith. Let it be a sacred agreement with what heaven is about to powerfully manifest in your life. And if you know someone, a cherished friend, a family member, or anyone in your circle who desperately needs to hear this empowering message, someone who has been struggling with the painful burden of feeling invisible, undervalued, or overlooked, please share this with them. Sometimes God sovereignly chooses to use us, ordinary vessels, to deliver precisely the messages that others are desperately needing to hear, a divine lifeline in their moment of yearning.